Welcome in, everybody. Today we're doing a roundup of all the Transcendence upgrades. So we'll start by talking about Vadim, who got a bit of an upgrade here in terms of his evasion. And now typed evasion, so 30% to pierce and 30% to magical, is no joke. Like, that's a lot of evasion to get from a passive, and he even has 30% slash attack penetration. So that's all well and good. He got a thief mastery upgrade as well, so we'll just quickly check what that is. And it gave him some resistances to pierce and magic resistance. So all of this together would look pretty good, and he does have an evasion passive in case you're not familiar with him. But at the end of the day, when we check out the builder, he's still not going to be this massive evasive unit because his agility is pretty low, and his luck is even lower. So when we take a look at putting these things on the Thief Mastery for agility, Blade Soul there, we can see that he's at 60 agility and still 224 luck. Not a huge, amount of evasion, even though he gets these big evasion boosts here. So still not going to be like crazy evasive, but will still be fun for things like PvE. And if you were wondering about his resistances, well, 35 to pierce and 35 to magic is definitely good, but he, it's not really a massive deal in the time of penetration and the weaknesses that he has elsewhere. So just a fun SR unit for PvE. And if anyone out there has a use for him, then let me know, because I'd be interested. But otherwise, I don't think it's someone that people are going to be rushing to like reincarnate or anything like that. Okay, moving on, we have Loreila, who is a crit machine. If you didn't know, she is, and she only got better at doing those things. So what we have here is a defense penetration upgrade, which is certainly necessary, and then reaction block rate, which is huge. Like, that's a really big deal. Now with her, even with all these like massive high chance reactions that have longer ranges than we used to see, her range is so far that she wouldn't necessarily be hit by them, but still it's good for things like reflex. So with all of this upgrade, well, what actually happened with her skills here? Well, now she has an automatic Thornlet type ability where when she crits, she will decrease agility by 10%. So that is a huge thing. Like, Thornlet, if you haven't used it before, is very effective at actually swinging matches, because when you lower the agility of certain units, then you have the ability to go ahead of them in the order. So she's actually sneaky pretty good. I saw people using her at 120 in limited guilds battle to some pretty interesting effect, and she's only gotten better. So I think that she has an outside chance of being usable in PvP for certain content, and definitely for PvE. It's good because when at launch, she was useless. She was a terrible character, but they've really upgraded her. Like, look at her barrage. So her barrage is now 40 AP because it got discounted when they upgraded it for all of the, archer class. But then it is this huge range, 40 AP. She crits, which she will definitely crit. She gets 20 of that back. And she'll lower the agility of every single person that it hits. So super effective, really nice upgrade. I know that's not new, but overall, really nice upgrades for Loreila. And she's somebody I would totally build if I was more into the wind element. All right, next up is Skahal, who is a year one unit that was accidentally, I'm going to say accidentally, overtuned by Gumi, and he is a force to be reckoned with. So his upgrade gives him faster casting time, which is absolutely essential. It gave him some critical evasion, which isn't the biggest deal in the world. I mean, his whole thing is that you want him to die in one hit so that he uses his courage and then gets healed up. So, being a little bit bulkier doesn't make a huge difference. But then his Thundaga Disposer is actually getting an upgrade where it strips 20 AP from anyone that it hits. So if they don't die to this, which they often do, they'll have less AP. Now, if you use Roy's TMR, which actually adds on an effect that strips 20 more AP from any regular hit or any sort of hit that you do with the unit, then this attack would actually take 40 AP off of any unit that it doesn't kill, which is really good. Now, in order for that to happen, you probably have to not use the Time Mage sub or have a lot of time to buff or make sure he's by himself, because he won't actually get to that TMR buff. But if he does use that, then it's kind of a fun tech where you can really take away somebody's ability to actually attack with too many AP abilities. So I think that this one, if you're a Skahal user, it's a clear yes, just upgrade him. It's definitely good to go. I've seen like some people say that he might drop off. I don't really think that's the case, especially with a banger lightning unit on the way. So he is a good investment for anybody. And it's just great to get so much use out of a year one unit. I remember when he first came out, I pulled for him, but he was on a shared banner with Howlet and I never got him. So I got him way later in the game on like an off banner. And by the time I built him, he wasn't relevant until he got his upgrades. So I'm really psyched to be able to be using him now, and I hope that you are getting some use out of him too. Okay, now it's time for the best Transcendence upgrade of all time, the best one. It's Rhaldor, and so his upgrade gives him more strike attack, it gives him even more pierce and missile resistance, and then it upgrades his demolition fist. So we'll take a look at what that does, and what it will do is now it is going to decrease the defense penetration by 40 for the target that it hits for 3 turns. So this is actually really key because he has so much defense. So if you are taking on physical attackers, you'll be able to actually survive some pretty good stuff if you can get this skill off specifically and hit with it and everything and get your defense up. So let's go take a look at what that might actually look like. If we go into the builder here, and we're going to go ahead and we'll put on his warrior spirit, we'll put on his thief lore, and we'll go up here and we can see right off the bat that he has 55 pierce resistance and 60 missile resistance. So absolutely huge. If you can take on teams that are just using those attack types, he's going to be really effective. What we also have here now is a lot of defense when you consider that he has 16 innately and then 45 more from his attack. I can't remember what it's called now, but that's going to put him up to 61 defense. And obviously you can get more from equipment and espers and however you want to be doing that. So is he going to be, super effective? Of course. Now, is he really going to be super effective? Well, he still has some problems. He's still going to be, very AP dependent. He's still going to be weak to slash and, very weak to magic. And, he doesn't really do a lot against a wide portion of the meta, but going forward offensively should be doing pretty good damage as long as you get his defense penetration buffs up and you stack as much of that as you can, and people don't have pierce resistance, although his LB can imperil strike resistance. If people have a lot of strike resistance, it's still going to be a problem for him. So, and there are a lot of people like that in the meta right now, so that's just something to consider with him. But overall, I think he's in a pretty okay spot. He's definitely got niche use and will really shine when you get to use him that way, which I will. I will definitely be using him. I'm very excited to be using him, especially once Alaya comes out and I have a strike team that I can assemble with Rhaldor as the not spearhead but fist head. Next up is Glaciela Regalia, and now she is super interesting in that she got slash resistance 15%, AoE resistance 10, and then Regal Tranquility was upgraded. And we can see that from her master ability too, she already had 20 AoE resistance, so that puts her at 30 now. And when we check out her slash resistance, well, it was at 5%, so now it went up by 15, so we're going to be at 20% slash resistance. So this kind of puts her in line with some of the other bulkier mages in terms of survivability, and I'm really happy about that. She's still going to be missing out by not having any sort of big re-raise with a buff that comes when you re-raise, or courage that increases your damage, and those types of things that are survivability boosters, but also have some nice mechanics to help you get in and make an impact. She's still missing those, but this is a huge jump to making her more survivable. If you can have other ways of increasing her AoE resistance, then that will be really good, because what she still lacks on her kit is good buffs. Really, she has like a really banger buff on her main kit, but it's just purely offensive, and she's kind of missing some buffs that might help her survive. So if we take a look down below at the Regal Tranquility, it's a really good buff. So it's a full dispel, it's a big AoE. We know from Halloween Little Leela, or not, Jesus, Little Leela the Bold, that these are an incredibly impactful way to take care of a team and kind of strip everything that's going on for them. The big difference here is that for Glaciela, she has a 200 cast time for this, and that is really, really, really slow. That's the slowest you can get. but she does have the decreased CT on here, which is very impactful and can really help out your team. So the issue that I see is that we really have to hedge on getting more decreased cast time. So we have 350 from our passives, and we have another 200 here, so that's 550, and then we can get, what is it, 150 from weapons. So we can get pretty high there. That was 700, so that's 2 ticks to get this spell off. I don't know if that's fast enough. And when we check out her builder stats here, she is kind of like middling agility, and she's not crazy survivable. So I have a little bit of an issue with her still, but I really want to transcend her and try her out and see if I can make her work. Bets are against her just because she already wasn't cutting it. Now, and again, she's not a bad unit. She's a very powerful unit, but when you look at what all the other mages have, they just have more going for them in terms of being able to survive, and then things that let them make an impact immediately, like whether it's the CT up, or whatever it is. So I think she's really cool. If I need to find some more antlers, but I will definitely transcend her at some point because I would love to test out her new dispel. Okay, we have Alaya Rhaldor here, and she was already, doing fine. She's a great unit. Mono ice with archers and gunners is still effective against a lot of teams, and so she didn't need a ton of upgrades here. So what you get is 20% attack, which is very welcome, and then wind killer 20, which is, again, it's great. She can take out some wind teams, and then she gets an upgrade to her armor borer attack. And what this is going to do is it's going to expand the dispel capability of it. So now instead of just getting rid of protect, it also gets rid of auto restore and haste. And now auto restore is a little less common these days, but still prevalent because people have it on their own kits now, and people do still use spells. Certain units do, but dispelling haste, that is absolutely key, and this is a skill that she will use because of all the many things that it does. So this is a tremendous upgrade. She was already good. She's definitely, still good. And if you are an ice player and you don't have her and you end up getting her, it's not too late to build her. She's really good, and you can definitely transcend her. Okay, and now we are off to Cherise, who in my last video, somebody said I should have mentioned as the best Transcendence instead of Rhaldor. That person was categorically wrong, incorrect, incompetent, ridiculous. Get out of here with that garbage. But what did she get? She's not terrible, right? She's just not Rhaldor, okay? She's not Rhaldor. So her upgrades, more attack. She needed that. That's good. Decrease AP consumption is excellent, and then increased slash resistance, that's just kind of a token upgrade. Doesn't help her survivability that much, but her suppressive volley does get an upgrade. And let's go ahead and take a look at this. Now I'm going to go ahead and tell you guys, I have literally never fought a Cherise in guild battle or arena or anything. I've just never seen her, so I don't know that much about her. But I will say is that this suppressive volley is a very strong attack because it already had decreased CT, it had range, it had missile attack for the targets that it hits, but now it has human killer on it. So it seems like mainly she got a damage boost, and she also got a little bit of help with her AP. Seems like a really good thing for a ranged unit to get, and she's 70 cost, so she's easy to fit into teams. Now, of course, our upcoming limited guild battle doesn't have a cost limit for some weird reason, but maybe now that she's upgraded, you could use her. And if you have feedback on her, let me know what you think about her. Did she need the damage boost? Was there something that she needed more from her Transcendence? And do you recommend that other people transcend her? Because I'm actually not sure if this is necessary or not, because I just haven't played enough with her, but I'm eager to learn from my viewers. So let me know in the comments down below. Okay, and that's it for all the upgrades that we got this week, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know if you did. Otherwise, I'll see you all soon enough in another video.